This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And with it being the holidays now, you might be thinking to yourself, next year would be great to spend in Walt Disney World, for the holidays and have a great family trip there. Well, if you're listening to this podcast, let's be honest, you could probably make a great trip out of like February. But that being said, the best place to help you plan that next trip to Walt Disney World, be it the holidays, be it the middle of February, be it any time of the year, is MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. They're equipped to help you plan with your trip no matter when it is, no matter where it is, and how many few people, regardless of the situation. They can help you plan it. And the best part, it's free to you. Their services come complimentary. Check them out online at www.mousefantravel.com.
Bringing the world to your world, this is Walt Disney World Today. Here are Mike Scopa, Len Testa, Mike Newell, and your host, Matt Hochberg.
It's Wednesday, November 17th, 2010, and this is episode 800
No way.
of WDW Today.
Nice.
I didn't even.
I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Mike, happy 800 episodes.
Where did the time go?
Man, it seemed like it was 5 years ago. I had no kid on the way. You were living in a different house than you are now.
Yeah,
Man.
it's been a long time. I'm going to go. Bye.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for alleears.net.
There was Walter Cronkite and storybooks.
Matt's favorite.
I love it. And storyboards. Magic at Disney Animation. That's a great show. I miss that show so much.
I have that on video, Matt. Maybe if I get a chance, I'll make a copy for you.
Oh, that'd be great. Did you take the video with your old VHS one, like the ones that look like a rocket launcher on your shoulder?
Yep, bazooka.
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 Man, I remember my dad whipping that thing out all the time. I give you credit, Mike, for lugging that thing around Walt Disney World. That could not have been easy.
Nope.
Also joining us on today's show is the fabulous Annette Owens, a manager of customer relations and group services for MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Welcome to the show, Annette.
Hey, 2 shows in a row. What can I say? It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Very nice. Also joining us on today's show is Fred Hazelton, the master statistician for touringplans.com. Welcome to the show, Fred.
Hey, Matt, it's great to be here. Thanks for giving me the last-minute call to be on the show. But you didn't tell me that it was going to be number 800. I'm underdressed.
You're not wearing your tux, Fred? Come on.
Jeez.
Well, no, it's Canadian tux. It's all jeans, right?
That's true. I'm actually wearing jeans. Thank you.
It's Wednesday, and we're answering your listener questions. And we'll start out with a question from Alistair of Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Ooh.
I'm heading to the world with my family for the last 2 weeks of August 2011. Okay, good. I was about to say soon, but 2011. He says 2011. We always make a point of doing something different every trip. For this trip, I'm thinking of renting a boat. We are a family of 6. Where do you think is the best place on property to rent a boat? And is there a particular route or sites we should make a point of seeing?
I would suggest going down to Downtown Disney, where the old Chef Mickey's used to be. What is that now called? Captain Jack or something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but go ahead, Mike.
I think you can rent boats there, and you can take them to like Saratoga Springs or and back.
It's true, but I have to disagree with you, my friend. You see, I would recommend. What's that?
Go for it.
I would recommend the Polynesian Resort, specifically Bay Lake. You can rent them at any of them, Grand Floridian, Contemporary, Fort Wilderness, doesn't matter. But the reason why I say that, Mike, is because you have a lot more room to tool around in, because you can go all around in front of the Magic Kingdom, great photo area, by the way, and then you can go all the way over to Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge. But there's so much to see over there. You can go take your boat real close up and go check out the old the swimming hole. What's it called?
River Country?
River Country. Hey, River Country, you can go to Discovery Island. You can't go there, you go near it. But you go to see, go by Discovery Island. I feel like there's a lot more sightseeing to be done over there, plus a lot more room to tool around in.
And some great photo ops. That's right. You've definitely got some great photo ops of the Magic Kingdom and the other resorts as well.
Yeah. For a family of 6, though, I would recommend some people. You can take the pontoon boat out. I really like the Boston Whaler. I think it's an easier boat to drive. I've driven it before, and I actually did it with Chantel from dvcbyresale.com. We took it out one night, and it's a lot of fun. It handles real well. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great experience. I highly recommend it. If they do take annual pass discount, DVC discount, lots of other ones. It's be sure to ask for a discount of some sort before you go there, because you should be able to get something, Alistair. It's a lot of fun. Have any of you guys done the boat rentals before?
Oh yeah, all the time.
It's great, isn't it?
I love it. I've become a bigger fan of Bay Lake, like you said, Matt. I used to rent from Key West,
Right.
but like you said, there's not much room on the river. And then once you get to downtown Disney, you really, all you do is really turn around. Once you get there, there's not much to do there. But
That's a huge turnaround spot, isn't it?
It is, but Bay Lake, I think, is so much nicer. You have the entire Bay Lake to go. You can go into Seven Seas Lagoon, then you can go into the Bay Lake area. So it's kind of really neat.
Yeah. One time funny story, we were taking the boat out, and when you go between Bay Lake and the Seven Seas Lagoon, there's that little water channel, and you have to go slow. You you can't have any wake.
Right.
And so we're driving there, and actually before that, I let my wife run the boat. Marissa was driving, and I was like, yeah, go for it. So we're going through the thing, and she's pretty good with it. She was a little nervous, but she's going through it, and we're about a quarter of the way through the channel or whatever that is, and all of a sudden one of those big boats from Fort Wilderness comes up behind us.
Oh no!
And she got freaked out. I'm like, don't worry about it. He's got to go slow too. You just got to wait until we get out there and then make it beeline. She was like a criminal in a police interrogation. She was just sweating, and she did not enjoy that. After that, as soon as we got out of the point where she could gun it, she was like, "You're driving from now on. I'm done."
It's intimidating though. You have this giant boat behind you.
Yeah, it's
giant boat.
Yeah. He's bearing down on us, but hey, it's the rules of the maritime.
It's the rules of the sea, my friend.
That's right. Next email is from Jennifer Von Hoffman, who writes, "Greetings. I'm planning to run the 2012 Walt Disney World Half Marathon, and then given that I'm a planning freak, it would seem that I'm giving my hotel choice as much attention as my training plan. And yes, I'm sending this question in the fall of 2010, so it's got plenty of time to make it through to the queue. I've heard your advice to Walt Disney World Resort guests to get up as early as 2:30 a.m. or 3 o'clock a.m. in order to catch one of the first buses of the event. It would seem that this super early bus ride to the start line is often followed by a couple of hours of standing around, waiting for the race to start time, and possibly freezing cold. I will most likely stay offsite at the Sheraton Vistana Resort. Under normal circumstances, I can drive to Epcot in about 10 minutes. What time would I need to leave my resort in order to get through whatever process I needed to take care of before the race starts? Is staying off property better or worse for half marathon logistics? I own it at the Vistana, which makes it a very attractive place to stay, but could spring for an on-site stay if it makes logistics significantly easier." Scopa?
Number one, it's worse to stay off property because you don't have the luxury of Disney transportation. Number two, distance. You're traveling a little bit further, which means you're going to get up a little bit earlier. Most of the runners get up between 2 and 2:30. They usually ask us to be at Epcot by 4 a.m. It's true that it can be cold. It's true that it can be warm. My suggestion is to try to get a room at Coronado Springs, Caribbean, Pop Century, any of the Epcot area resorts. I think they're the closest ones. That's what I would do. You want to make it a 10 or 15-minute drive, if that much, from your hotel, and get over to Epcot as soon as possible. You can always stay in your car till the very last moment and get over there. You need to do things like take care of baggage check, and it can take a while. There are so many things that people don't realize that takes time, and there's a reason why Disney and the race officials want everybody over there about 4 o'clock, 4:30, because we start walking to the corrals about an hour before the start, and we're in the corrals for a while. But that's because they want everything in order, they want everybody ready, and they don't want any complaints. And unfortunately, it's a very crazy 24 hours from Friday to Saturday, and that's what comes with doing this. And but it's something that you never forget. So that's my 2 cents.
Hey, Mike, if she does decide to stay off property, what time would you recommend her leave her hotel?
Vistana, Matt, would you say that's a 20-minute ride?
It's on 535, so it's I mean, that time of day, there's no traffic at all. Obviously, very early in the morning. I would say it's about
10?
Yeah, 10. It's basically right outside downtown Disney, so it's about figure, 10 minutes to downtown Disney entrance. If you want to put it that way, so you do the math after that. What time do you think you should get there?
Oh man! But the thing is, Matt, there is a lot of traffic on that particular morning. There's thousands of cars that are heading towards Epcot. I would say the absolute last minute would be 3:30. Absolute last. I would actually say, I would try to leave by 3:15.
Okay.
I really would.
Also, a special question for Fred. I understand that given the January Florida weather, it's important to wear layers for these endurance events. Are flannel moose boxer shorts an appropriate garment for the occasion, or should I avoid flannel since it's not moisture wicking?
Anything with a moose on it is the way to go. You can never go wrong with that.
It's a reference. Check the wiki again, www.com/wiki. For I think it was Reunion last year, right, Fred?
No.
Yeah.
Was it Reunion or Tenfest?
When it was, it was my very first trip to Le Cellier. I know that because they were, dragging me to go. You got to go. And of course, the waitress spilled an entire tray of drinks.
It was Reunion. I remember that.
Oh, that was Reunion.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Check the wiki for that story about Jennifer getting dumped on all the beer in Le Cellier. Next
All
email.
the beer.
Beer, coffee, water, everything.
She showed up at Yeehaw Bob after that, and all this all decked out in this Canada gear. We're like, wow,
It was Oh Canada.
she's
It brought
really
a tear to Fred's eye.
I had to swear her in as a citizen.
Next email is from Ryan B. of Louisville, Kentucky. We're visiting Disney World December 13th to the 18th, and I was curious about Hollywood Studios' crowds on Fantasmic nights. I know that Fantasmic has limited showing, so crowds are usually heavy on those nights. I also know that crowds are lighter overall during this time of year. Are the crowd levels on Fantasmic nights in December heavy enough that I should stay away? Thanks for your help. I'll let Fred talk about the crowd levels for that time of year, Fred, 13th to 18th. But I will say that regardless of what time of the year, when you have Fantasmic being shown, expect heavier than usual crowds in the parks in Hollywood Studios. In fact, I would go as far as to say that a day that has Fantasmic has larger crowds than a day that has extra magic hours.
Oh, that's absolutely true. But it's not even close.
Yeah.
The thing is, if it's an easy decision, if you don't want to see Fantasmic, you should never go on a day that has a Fantasmic.
Yes.
That's for sure. Now that time of year, it's less important. Even on Fantasmic days, you're looking at like an average attendance around a 5 on our scale. But the studios, it's really interesting because the day-to-day crowds vary at the studios like 3 times more than any other park because of Fantasmic.
Right.
You look at a park like Animal Kingdom, which basically has the same crowd every day. But Hollywood Studios just jumps up and down every day depending on whether there's a Fantasmic or not. So if you're not going to see the show, don't go that day.
Thanks, Fred. Next email is from Katie Mason of Hertfordshire, United Kingdom. Hi, guys. I'm a big fan. I listen to your podcast each day while getting ready for the university. It's such a good way to start my day. We've already booked our 2010 visit, and more amazingly... All right, this email's kind of old. More of my amazing parents have already booked. It's our 6th visit to the Walt Disney World. When I was younger, we used to stay on property, but as I've gotten older, we've opted for villas outside Disney. My question is, do they still do Mickey waffles as a breakfast in the hotels, and would I be able to get one? I have fond memories of eating them from the food court in the Caribbean Beach Resort and wasn't sure how much things have changed since I last stayed in it, because I haven't stayed in a Disney hotel since 2001. Wow. Where's AJ from the Disney Food Blog when you need her for this question?
Yeah. You could pretty much get Mickey anything, I think, if you wanted it.
I've seen Mickey waffles almost everywhere. Usually, at the very least, it's on the kids' menu. Like at the buffets, Katie, they usually have...
the mini ones, right, Matt?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, in the they're mini ones in the kids' buffet area for breakfast. Do you know anyone know of any place where you can get like the full-size Mickey waffles?
My kitchen.
There you go, Katie.
Oh, Scope is cooking.
Don't bother calling ahead. Just show up. The man will be more than welcome to make you a waffle right on the spot.
Make good cinnamon ones too.
Anyone know of any place? Annette, can you think of anywhere that has the full size Mickey waffles?
I'm thinking Grand Floridian.
I think the Contemporary has them as well.
1900.
I was going to say I thought I got them at the Contemporary, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they had them there. I was there in June and they had them.
Oh, cool. Where exactly, Fred?
the contemporary, the little, I forget the name of it. It used to be the Concourse Steakhouse, but it's the
the little
Right,
grab and
the
go place.
concourse.
Grab and go,
Yeah.
the thing on the right where you can. It's not Chef Mickey's, but it's right next
Next to Chef Mickey's.
Right.
Yeah, the counter service location over there.
And I'm sure Chef Mickey's has them too. But
Cool. Next email is from Rachel Anthony, who writes, generally I wait until you read my last question before I write in again, figuring that it's the more polite approach than emailing you about everything I've done. But I've been waiting for a while, cough, 8 months, cough. But I have some things to say and questions to ask. We were at Disney the first week of February 2010. This was to take advantage of the 4-day Dream Pass they were offering to Florida residents, which was a good deal. And I was able to talk my husband into the trip. Here were the highlights of my trip. 1, the lady at Epcot who gave me the more expensive gift with purchase, a badly needed blanket, when I had only bought enough merchandise to receive the less expensive GWP, a tote bag, whatever, because I didn't read the small print without charging me any more. That's pretty nice of her. 2, both of my daughters being featured in the Monsters, Inc. show, the 4-year-old as Boo and the 2-year-old as something cute.
That's awesome.
3, my older daughter getting to participate on the Main Street Trolley Parade. That's cool.
That is cool.
oh yeah,
And number 4, meeting Tiana, Prince Naveen, and Terrence, Tinkerbell's friend. But here were the negatives of our trip. The cold and rain, not Disney's fault, of course, and not really a problem for us. It's as they empty the parks. 2, Ellen. We had never been to it before, and while some of the things we read mentioned the loud volume and sudden darkness, so my small children were prepared, not one review mentioned that one dinosaur spits, and quite substantially. My 2-year-old was on my husband's lap and got a face full of water without any warning. She was not pleased.
oh no,
I don't remember that. It's
What?
It does spit. Yeah, there was one
Really?
that. Yeah, she's right about that.
The thing is so big though, you have to be sitting in the right spot
That's
to
ex-
ever feel it. I think.
that's
which
exactly right.
Which
There's-
side is it on?
It's on the right as you're making the first curve.
Uh-huh.
When you're first going in, and Fred's right. I mean, those cars are so huge that, I mean, I've never gotten spit at, but it must hit the same spot all the time. It might be somewhere in the center of the car, but you have to, I mean, you don't know where it's going to be, so I've never gotten hit.
So
but
there's a tip. Sit towards the back.
well, towards the back or towards one of the sides, I think might be a better tip.
Oh, there you go. 3, my older daughter falling flat on her face at Animal Kingdom off of the 3-foot-high platform in the Meerkat exhibit and spending much of the day in the first aid station while we tried to determine if she had a concussion or had a broken nose. Pictures of the carnage available upon request. And 4, on our last night, being directed to the resort monorail at the Magic Kingdom by a cast member as a quicker option back to the TTC. Right this way, no line. Only to have the one and only resort train break down multiple times, so it took us 3 hours to get back to our room from the time we walked up the ramp.
Wow.
wow.
Except for these things, it was a fantastic trip, but it left me with several questions. Has it seemed to anyone else that there are a lot less cast members around than usual, even for February? Is it true they had layoffs? And if so, how many cast members?
February 2010. Yeah, they definitely did. Had cutbacks.
They had cutbacks, but I don't think they laid off frontline cast members. They laid off some management positions that you wouldn't really notice in the parks. At least that was the plan. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm in the parks every week, Rachel. I don't think I've noticed less cast members, per se.
This was February 2010, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was in the heart of. If you were going to notice it, that would have been the time that you would have. But yeah, you're right. It wouldn't have been substantial.
And lastly, why is the bathroom in Pete's Garage in Toontown always filthy?
Because it's a garage.
It's a garage. it's authentic. It's part of the theme.
Exactly. They're trying to be authentic here.
Children.
See, I was thinking it was all the kids in there, but
Yeah.
All right, let's
I
move
know
on.
that it's an emergency stop on the Ultimate Magic Kingdom tour. There's a funny story about Henry missing one of the Main Street trolleys when he first attempted the ultimate touring plan. And so he called Len and said, "What am I going to do instead?" And Len said, "You got to go see Pete's Garage." And he gets there and he says, "Wait a minute, it's just a bathroom. It's okay, it counts."
It counts.
oh no.
All right.
We'll have to check that
next
out one
email
last time.
is from Evan Chavez, who's from Dallas, Texas, and 14 years old. I have a few questions I wanted to know if you could help me out with. My mom, my dad, and brother, age 10, will be in Walt Disney World for our upcoming trip. We're going to be going in November, and we want to know how crowds in November compare to beginning of June. Will we need to use the holiday touring plans?
Probably a good time to go in November, huh, Fred?
Yeah, that's fine. You wouldn't need to. Oh, wait a minute. What date's in November?
20th
Not
to the
Thanksgiving.
24th.
So that's Thanksgiving.
Oh, I thought it was early November. No.
Nope, November 20th to 24th.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so yeah, you
I
definitely use
retract
the
my
holiday
statement.
touring plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely use the holiday touring plans that time.
Yeah.
That's going to be more crowded than June,
Mhm.
for certain. So yeah, make sure you use the holiday. Thanksgiving is kind of third on the list, on the hit list of crowds. Christmas first, Easter second, and then Thanksgiving third. You kind of throw July 4th in there as well, but that's sort of,
So is it more crowded than the beginning of June?
it would be more crowded. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is more crowded than beginning of June. Quite a bit more crowded.
We'll be staying at my grandparents' timeshare in Kissimmee. My grandparents will be with us as well. However, they are, quote, Scopa old and have opted not to accompany us to the parks.
Oh, so they're runners, huh? They're very athletic and very energetic, and
What are some
Giant
good
hot.
places?
Love it.
What are some good places in the world for us to meet them for dinner at night outside the parks? Outside, a great place is Crossroads, which is across from the Downtown Disney entrance or exit, depending on your perspective of Walt Disney World. There's a Fuddruckers over there, which I really like. I don't know if have you guys been to Fuddruckers? I think it's a fun
At the
restaurant.
cross, yeah, there's one in,
That's
in
a
the
fun
crossroad.
place for kids
Yep.
too. Teenagers like that. Yep.
I love the little salad, the toppings bar you can put on your burger.
Yep, they make
Great
great
option.
burgers over there. They really do.
Yep.
Yeah, they have ostrich burger and buffalo burger. So good.
Okay, that
So
doesn't sound so good, but okay.
Buffalo,
good.
Buffalo's good. Good.
There's a couple other restaurants over there. There's Chevy's, there's Olive Garden, there's all those chain stuff. But you know what? It's quick and easy. There's also an Italian and a Mexican restaurant that's in the shopping area right next to it. I can't think of the names right now. I want to say Garibaldi. It's not it. Not Giardelli. It starts with a G.
We're taking on to eat chocolate.
Goodings. No.
No, that's the supermarket. But
The
anyway,
grocery store. But don't forget about the fact that the grandparents could meet them outside the parks at one of the resorts. They're not going into the parks then, but they would at least, they could have a little bit of that feel. Maybe go to the boardwalk area
Or downtown Disney.
or downtown Disney, walk around.
Lots
So
of
there's a little
parks.
experience, but not a huge theme park.
right. Good point. Next email is from Pete from Springfield, Massachusetts. Speaking of Thanksgiving, my family and I will be going to Walt Disney World over Thanksgiving week, and I have a few questions. What's the best strategy for touring the park that will be least crowded on Thanksgiving? My thoughts was to go somewhere that Thanksgiving would be least relevant, perhaps Animal Kingdom. Would Thanksgiving be a good day to visit a water park or Islands of Adventure instead? Fred?
Ooh, I don't know about Islands of Adventure.
same
That's
thing.
gonna be pretty. Everything's gonna be pretty crowded. I mean, probably Animal Kingdom might be one of your better bets. I mean, nothing says Thanksgiving like the Animal Kingdom, I suppose. Are the turkeys on the safari? I don't know.
Oh, no.
What about Disney Quest, Fred?
Oh, that's a good point. That wouldn't be that busy, most likely.
Yeah.
Why would you want to go there, though?
Because everybody else is everywhere else.
I suppose, yeah.
Well, I guess if they're looking at doing Islands of Adventure, they could at least look at the pass, getting the that express pass.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing
Definitely do that. If they're not staying on property, go ahead and spend the extra $20 for the
It'd be well worth it.
the VIP fast pass, basically. But make sure you get it early because those things would sell out. They sell out pretty
Very
quickly
quick.
on busy days.
Next email is from Paul Bello of Seattle, Washington. I've never been on a Disney cruise, but I noticed that they tend to be quite a bit more expensive than comparable cruises from other cruise lines. Here in the Northwest, we have Alaska cruises by Carnival, Princess, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and Holland America. I've heard that Disney will start running Alaska cruises soon. I'd like some guidance in deciding whether to book a Disney cruise rather than one of the others. For those of you that have done cruises in the Caribbean, and assuming that the Alaska cruises will be similar quality, how much more money would you pay to go on a Disney cruise rather than one of the other cruise lines? What makes a Disney cruise better than any of the others? That's a great question for Annette.
Well, when it comes down to your cruise lines, all are different levels of service, different levels. They all are differently ranked. So Disney is your top family. It gets ranked all the time as the top family cruise line. So as far as going into Alaska, yes, Princess and Holland have been going into Alaska for a long time, but maybe didn't have all those children's programs that, those great children's programs you get for the kids. So while you are paying a little bit more for Disney cruise, it's the Disney quality that you're getting in exchange.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I love Disney cruises. I'm a big fan of Royal Caribbean ships as also. And speaking of the families, actually, it's funny you mentioned that, Nat, because Royal Caribbean won the 2010 editor's pick for best family cruise line, which is interesting because you always think of Disney. And the reason why I like them is just because of the cost. Disney charges a premium, as you picked up, Paul. And it's a great cruise line. Don't take anything away from that. I just think that it's a little overpriced, to be honest, especially for the Disney Wonder. And which one's going to Alaska? Is it the Wonder or the Magic?
The Wonder.
The Wonder.
Because but you got to remember, if everybody goes back to college, supply and demand, Disney only has 2 ships in comparison to all the other cruise lines.
No, that's true. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying that it's over 10. It's over 10 years old. Mm-hmm. I just think the prices are a little high. That's why I like Royal Caribbean better. I think you get a lot more bang for your buck. It's a good experience. But I wouldn't say that you should not go on a Disney ship. If you got the money, you should definitely go for it. So.
And if you can't, Royal Caribbean's a great alternative.
Yeah, very well put. Thank you, Annette. Well, I think it's one time for our last question of the day. That means I'll give Mr. Newell 3 emails to choose from. 1 gets read today. The other 2 go back to the email queue to be answered later. Are you ready, Mike?
Yes, Matt, I am ready. Let's go.
All right, Newell, your 3 options are correct pronunciation for caramel couche, which may or may not have been pronounced correctly there. Have T-shirt will travel. Ooh. Or an early Christmas gift from Newell.
Wow. I don't believe I was giving out Christmas gifts, so I think that might be a trick, though, just to get me to pick that one. I'm interested with the T-shirt one.
Oh, you never pick the email I think you're going to pick. It's amazing.
That's what
amazing. I do. Last email today is from Andy from Chicago, Illinois. Hello, gentlemen, and sometimes lady. I'll be traveling down to the world with my family in June of 2011. My question is, if I were wearing a WWTA T-shirt of my own design, in which park do you think it would be noticed, and by whom, if anyone?
More importantly, which park will you get thrown out?
As soon as the shirt is finished, I'll be sure to send a photo of it. Keep up the good work, and thanks for keeping me entertained every week. Well, first of all, I think we demand our usual royalties of 80%.
$90.
$90. Each. Yeah, each.
Yeah.
I don't know. What parks have you guys been noticed the most in? Or seen the most listeners in? I guess we should put it that way.
Parking lot.
What was that, Mike?
The parking lot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Oh, it is true.
I don't know. What do you think, Scope?
That's a good question, Matt. I'm going to say wow.
I think it's Epcot.
It's got to be Epcot,
I think Epcot. Yeah, by I don't know, probably about 25% more in Epcot than Magic Kingdom. I think Studios is 3rd, and Animal Kingdom is last because I'm not there.
None of us are ever at Animal Kingdom. It's a safe bet you're not going to find us there.
Except for Len and I, we're always there.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
I like Animal Kingdom too. For the record,
maybe we're there hiding out. That's why Len wants to go.
Maybe
you like turtles.
Figuring them out.
Turtles.
It's the turtles. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Don't forget, this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And hey, there's no better option for helping you plan the next trip to Walt Disney World than MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, because you know what? Their services they offer you, be it few or a lot of services, are all free to you. That's right. So if you need a lot of hand-holding, and you need to have, making sure you're going to make the right decisions, or you want to run some ideas past them, they're here to do it for you. Or if you just want to have them do all that, boring work, book the ADRs, book the hotel, do all that stuff for you, they'll do that for you. And the best part, again, it's all free to you, included in the price. So check them out online at www.mousefantravel.com. If you want to find our other episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit us online at wdwtoday.com. Don't forget, our next live show is November 28th, live from Walt Disney World. Woo! At 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, the fabulous Lieutenant Owens, and Fred Hazelton, I am Matt Hotchberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.